Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the FEMA. FEMA, we discussed this yesterday. The lady that was fired, she gave an exclusive interview with Roland Martin, and you wouldn't believe what she had to say during this interview. So we're going to discuss the interview, well, view the interview and discuss parts of it. Also, it looks like people are tired of progressive policies. Election results are starting to come out where, of course, Donald Trump has control over the House and the Senate, even in blue states. Okay, it's a true red wave. And also, there was a recall on Shang Tao, I believe her name is. She's the mayor of Oakland, California. And there was a recall on her and her district attorney. They kicked both of their asses out because they're tired of these progressive policies. Okay, so we'll talk more about that today, all on today's episode. So you guys stay tuned. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. You guys put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have Celeste Hodges in the building. What is good, Celeste Hodges? She is tuning in from Texas. Fema is up to no good. Exactly. Up to no good. I don't know. I guess they just threw this lady out like she was acting alone. But after we look at this interview, we clearly could see that this is a systemic problem within FEMA's culture. Okay. Larry is tuning in from Fort Worth. Thank you for tuning in. I see we have Samuel Matthews in the building. Larry saying it's been a really good week. Yes, I concur with that. Hair, Life, and Style TV. Good evening. Happy to hear. Yes. And I've been waiting to hear this news as much as the presidential election results. Thank you for tuning in. You guys, I'm a little bit under the weather. That's why I had to push it back because I was dosed up with medication. So I'm trying to get this cold out of me, but I'm still kind of like snotty, I guess you would call it. But anyway, I'm chugging along. Keratin, it's always great to see you. Keratin, good evening, Chawanne, and everyone else in the chat. Roland Martin, he lose all credibility when he interviewed Tiffany Henyard in my Cooking with Frank voice. Yeah, he did. Anthony Hood is in the building. What up, though? Hope you feel better. I think I'm at the tail end of my sickness, so hopefully I'll feel better. My husband said he had to sleep with my youngest son because he said I was snoring so loud last night. And I was like, well, you should have, moved me or something, turn me over to the side. But I guess I probably was medicated and, he probably couldn't wake me up. Anyway. So our first story of the hour, I'm not going to spend too long online, but I did want to talk about this because I think it's important. And it's so much stuff going on. If I don't want to, have stories piled up without us actually discussing some of it. Okay. So this particular story I want to share with you guys. This is from Oakland, California. And we know this particular mayor, Shang Tao, I believe it's pronounced Shang Tao. They're saying that voters in Oakland outs Mayor Shang Tao just 2 years into her term. Okay? That's what they're saying on this. And this is from AP News. And it's saying voters in Oakland, California oust this mayor just 2 years after she narrowly won office to lead the liberal San Francisco Bay Area city. And she wrote, thank you for choosing me to serve as your mayor, as the first Hmong American woman to become the mayor of a major American city. It has been an honor of my lifetime, she said in a statement last week. And she's saying she's committed to a smooth transition. It's saying Tao must vacate her office as soon as the election results are certified December the 5th, and the Oakland City Council declares the vacancy at its next meeting, which will be on December the 17th. Nikki Furtado, Boz, City Council President, said in a statement. Now, I guess the special election will be held within 120 days, okay? And the City Council base will serve as the interim mayor unless she wins the seat on the Alameda County Board of Supervisors. As of Monday, she was trailing in that race. Now, we know she was elected in November of 2020, Tao, this mayor. But Oakland has been going through some rough times. Matter of fact, a lot of the businesses were protesting against her because they have this law where, if you get caught stealing anything under $950, they don't arrest you. You got to know, what is it called? No cash bond or whatever crazy it is. They don't arrest you. And then they actually, if you fight back, they actually bring charges on the store owner. So it was a lot of local businesses protesting about that. Several business owners, they were saying that their store have been broken into quite a few times. Matter of fact, I just remember that I shared you guys on this channel that this one store owner, I think he had a clothing store or shoe store, and he said he's been robbed 3 times. He's been robbed 3 times within 6 months of him opening his store. And he was in Oakland, California. So they just tired of it. And not only she was fired, she was fired. Also, her DA was fired as well. So I guess when she took office, they criticized her because she fired the Oakland police chief, Roland Armstrong. And that frustrated the voters, including the local NAACP. They saying the city public safety, homelessness, and the city budget. And also, what am I getting at? She was raided. This is the same person was raided in June by the FBI. It says Tao went into Tuesday election weakened by the FBI raid in June of her home, along with the properties owned by a politically influential family that controls the city recycling contract. And Tao has remained her innocence, and the authorities have not said what they are investigating. Okay. And Oakland has this ranked choice system, voting system that allows voters to list the multiple choices in order of preference. Tao narrowly beat Lauren Taylor in 2020 despite getting fewer first places than Taylor. Oakland has about 400,000 residents and more politically liberal than San Francisco. I don't know about that, but they said it's more politically liberal. And in recent years, Oakland has lost 3 professional sport franchises, including Major League Baseball, Oakland Athletics, California Governor Gavin Newsom has sent state highway patrol officers, state prosecutors, and surveillance cameras to help Oakland battle crime. I think Gavin Newsom's days are numbered. I don't know if you guys, let me just share this map with you. This election, it looks pretty red, okay? And I'm surprised. I mean, it happens. Of course, you will vote Republican senators and representatives versus your president. Okay, I know it could flip flop, but California looks pretty red, and it is surprising to me. Election results. It's surprising to me that it's still blue. I think Donald Trump probably would have received more votes from California if I don't know, if it would have came out differently. I mean, if maybe if Kamala Harris wasn't running, if that makes any sense, because Kamala Harris is from California. But I don't know I don't know how popular she is in California. But apparently they like her because she got 58.9% of the vote. Anyway, what I'm getting at is if you could see California, you see how red it is. Now, these are the heavy populated areas: San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego, okay? Sacramento, those are big cities in California. But you see how the, less populated areas are more towards Republican. That's crazy. So I don't know. Gavin Newsom, maybe, I don't know when he's up for re-election, but his days might be numbered. Maybe they'll get a Republican governor in there. And they did have a Republican governor. Remember Arnold Schwarzenegger? But he came out and supported Kamala Harris. I don't know what all that was about. Maybe he just don't like Donald Trump. But, I think, isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger, isn't he atheist or something? He don't believe in God. Some kind of crazy stuff. You guys put it in chat. I think he doesn't believe in God. Anyway, let's see who we got in the building now. Tyrone Price, Chawanne Burns, thank you for another great show. Thank you for tuning in. Tyrell Harris, yo from Brooklyn, NYC. Amazing Love Craft. Good afternoon, beautiful. Chawanne Burns, how are you doing? I am doing good. The red wave came through, baby. Yep, it sure did. Okay, so my next story, I can't be on too long because, my kids they at karate practice and they're going to start coming in. They're going to be too loud and I'm not going to be able to talk to you guys. But I plan to be on for an hour, okay? You got a whole hour. Oh, you know what? Before I get to that, I just want to point something out. So, Donald Trump is picking out his cabinet seats. There's been speculations and rumors and stuff like that. Oh, they saying Mark Rubio is supposed to be the Secretary of State or something like that. Or anyway, Donald Trump is picking him for something. He's on the short list for something. It hasn't been confirmed, but he's on the short list. And so people are throwing out the idea, they should make Lord Trump to fill in this Senate seat for Mark Rubio. And I'm thinking like, come on now. Lord Trump is a great person. I'm not hating on her, but she's good what she's serving. She is the RNC co-chair. Let her serve in that position. Matter of fact, she just got the position. Let her get her feet wet and serve that position before you throw her to the wolves. Senate, no. And reason why I'm saying that, because Benny Johnson, he threw that out. hopefully you guys can see this, right? He threw that out. And I'm like, we're talking shit about Kamala Harris, and y'all trying to make Lord Trump a DEI hire. You guys let me know if I'm going in the wrong direction, but y'all trying to make Lord Trump a DEI hire. Stop it with the madness. Benny Johnson says the case for Lord Trump to be the next U.S. Senator from Florida, Mark Rubio's, what did I call it? What did I call him? Marco Rubio long-held Florida Senate seat is open after the appointment to Trump's cabinet. Lord Trump is the right person to fill it. Here's why. And he makes his case. Laura's active, young mother, dynamic Trump coalition of 18 to 40-year-olds who want real change. I think that's fine. She has a killer instinct. She's laser focused. Laura has personally sacrificed and suffered under the withering persecution of DC elites. Laura can protect Trump's agenda in the Senate. This chamber is an old man's club and backroom deals. Laura family brings great pride and respect. Blah, 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 blah. No shade to Lord Trump. I think, no, Byron Donalds would be a great fit for this. I'm pretty sure there's other representatives in Florida that will fill this position. So Benny Johnson, I think she's great, but no, I don't think this would be a great fit for her, because you have other people that's been doing the work in that political atmosphere, serving the public as representative. They should be promoted up to a Senate seat. I think this is only my personal opinion. You guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think about that. But I think if they do that with her, I think it totally will be a DEI situation. We could look at her and they're going to be talking about her. Oh, they're talking about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was actually elected even though she didn't have an opposing party when she was running for Senate. But she was actually elected. Okay. She actually put her name on the ballot. She was the only name on the ballot, but she was there. Okay. So you guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think. I'm just going to read some of your quotes or your. Carrington said, I believe he's an atheist. Yeah, he is. I think Trump is leaking out fake stuff to help find people that will turn on him. Okay, yeah. She's better than Ronna McDonald. That's for damn sure. Yeah, Ronna, I don't know what Ronna was doing. She just ran the Republican Party in the ground. I mean, she basically was a dead body taking up space because she didn't do nothing. That's why the Republicans was always losing elections. And that's why I think Laura is good where she's at. You know, she is younger and she's able to reach out, and she's literally turned the Republican Party around. I mean, single-handedly, if you really think about it. I mean, they haven't had this much excitement ever. I don't think they ever been excited about Republicans. Republicans is usually like the stiff party, you know, oh, don't tell anything to the Republicans. So now they got a boost of energy because younger people are starting to get involved in politics. And you do want a brand. You need to cultivate, if you want to keep like Trump's vision alive, they need to cultivate younger leaders. And that's why I mentioned Byron Donalds, because Byron Donalds, he's under 40, right? So he will be a good person in that Senate seat. I'm trying to think who else is out there, but the reason why I'm saying Byron Donalds, because he's always the one, you know, sticking up for Donald Trump's agenda when they try to blast him out in the news. He's been on CNN, he's been on MSNBC challenging them when they're trying to say some fake shit about, you know, what Donald Trump said or what Donald Trump did. Anyway, Celeste Hodges, I agree with, she's not ready yet. Yeah, she's not ready. I vote Candace Owens for the next RNC chair. I think Candace Owens will be great, but Candace Owens, I don't think Candace Owens, she's not party affiliated. I don't think she's not what am I want to call it? I don't think she I know she's conservative, but I don't know if she will be motivated enough for this RNC. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. But she seems like, I think she was voted for Donald Trump because Vivek wasn't in the race. I really, truly believe that. I think she was on the fence about Donald Trump. And not to say Donald Trump is the Republican Party, or he might, I guess you want to call him, he is the new Republican Party, if you really think about it. But I don't know. I don't think she's just, gun-ho about politics. I don't think she's in it yet. Anyway, I think she's gun-ho about the culture. I think people call her like, oh, she's black, because she's conservative, so they don't like her talking points. But I think she's trying to move black people in the right direction. I think she's passionate about that. Now, just the Republican Party on the whole, I don't know. I don't see passion with, in that aspect of it. Anyway, Yuck Photube is saying redacted made up theory that Trump is trying to get Rubio to take the cabinet seat. This DeSantis can pick Rubio's replacement and Trump can fire Rubio. That would be funny. That would be funny. I heard Rubio. Oh no, maybe this was Josh Hawley. I think Josh Hawley, they're trying to say that he's like a mole in the Trump. He's really against Trump. That appointment they was trying to make. Let me just pull it up. I'm getting a brain fart. Really, the appointment that they was trying to make. And they had the closed session and everybody was getting upset. Like, why are you trying to hide the votes that you're making? I mean, it should be public. I got to go to my. Okay, yeah, because I posted this yesterday. The truth finally comes out about con man Josh Hawley, the biggest fraud in the Senate. We helped this shyster win the re-election. What's the first thing he does? Run out to endorse John Cornyn for the Senate leader to sabotage President Trump's agenda. Because President Trump wants the other guy. It's between Thune Cornyn, and what does I think Trump wants somebody else. I forget what the guy's name you guys put in the chat. But wasn't it Rick Scott, right? He wanted Rick Scott, or Rick Scott was. So many names is coming up, you guys. So charge it to my head, not my heart. Anyway, they're going against what Trump is trying to do. Okay. Anyway, so let's get to our next story. Our next story is about this Fema. This Fema is this. Of course, the story is starting to grow arms and legs to it. To me, when you hear this story, I really truly think she's being disingenuous. And when she's telling the story, she's trying to act like Trump supporters were the most hostile. Okay, this is what she's saying. She claimed that when she goes out and her team was going out to canvass these areas to see if they needed help, she was met with hostility with the Trump supporters. That's what this lady said. And I think it's a bunch of BS in the game. I don't think she was met with hostility. I think she is making
enemy.
an excuse for a reason why you did something and you knew it was wrong. Now, but I don't want to take away that FEMA didn't know about it, because they did. She said it's their culture. It was shared. It was memo, not their culture, but it was a guideline, that was used throughout FEMA. Okay, so this is what this is about a 32-minute interview. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of it, but we'll try. You guys put in the chat. Let me know if you hear it.
Marnie, glad to have you here. So let's walk through this. First of all, when were you notified? Because the Daily Wire said there was a whistleblower who made this point. Go ahead.
I was notified after I demobbed. The next morning, they told me verbally I was fired, but they never provided me anything in writing stating that I was fired. They all alleged that these actions were made on my own recognizances and that it was for my own political advances. However, if you look at the record, there is what we call a community trend. And unfortunately, it just so happened that the political hostility that was encountered by my team, and I was on 2 different teams during this deployment, they just so happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation. So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas. Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports. They will substantiate what is happening to us in the field.
Okay, so let's go through that. And you also sent a text message to folks, and you said, "My civilian job has severed ties based on their core values, which is based on FEMA's determination of firing me." You laid the core values. You said, "Which of these did I violate?" You said, "I did not vote for Kamala. I'm nonpartisan. FEMA did not give me fairness. They violated their own values. They know homes are being skipped due to political hostile encounters." So when you say you didn't vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, did you not vote at all in this election?
Correct.
And so
I didn't even have an opportunity to vote at all in this election due to the amount of deployment requests and the high demand of help that is needed with FEMA.
This is why I don't I don't believe she's bipartisan. Number one, you're listening to Roland Martin. How did you get on Roland Martin's show? You don't have a publicist. Did they reach out to you? Probably so. Or you reached out to them. We wouldn't even be hearing about this if mainstream media wouldn't have lied and said, "Oh, FEMA's not discriminating against them. They just, we're just behind." And coming to find out, they are actually discriminating against Trump supporters. Okay? And number two, you're on Roland Martin. So you're saying you bipartisan? I don't believe you at all, because only liberal nut jobs listen to Roland Martin and agree with this fool. Like, raise your hand. Even when I was a Democrat, I always been in the middle of the road Democrat. But I never agreed with Roland, because he's always been extreme. He always cried racism. Roly-poly Martin, he's not bipartisan. So I think she's being disingenuous on this part. Anyway.
So, okay. So you normally do vote. You simply didn't vote in this election.
Correct.
Okay. So let's.
She didn't vote in this election, but she didn't say she didn't want to vote in this election. She said she's bipartisan. She said she couldn't vote in this election because of the deployments. She was too busy. But Why didn't you ask her? If you could have voted, who would you have voted for, Roland? Roland always miss the mark, right, in his interviewing. If he's interviewing somebody he don't like, he gets hostile. He treats him as a hostile witness. But why wouldn't you ask her the question? You supposed to be a journalist. I mean, do your journalistic thing. Why wouldn't you asked her, oh, you didn't vote? And she said, well, I was too busy. I'm bipartisan and I'm too busy. I didn't vote for Kamala Harris because I was too busy to vote. Okay, would you have voted for Kamala Harris? That's what she should have said, or should have asked her. And he didn't. Mr. Mark again.
Let's go through this. And again, they say you skipped the homes. And so when you talk about the incident reports, have you released those publicly? Have you released the report saying this is where I notified FEMA executives of these particular homes and how they were hostile to our workers?
So I have not relinquished any reports. And any time that we relinquish reports, we do not state specific homes due to PII. What we do is we discuss community trends. So if we are noticing, for example, on Mary Street, you'll find 3 or 4 homes that we tried to canvass and we were greeted with unwelcomed arms, or people are coming out guns blazing or he's screaming at us, then that's a street we need to avoid altogether.
Okay, so let's so first and foremost, is you work with, is it Avanath?
Oh, that's my civilian job, Avanath. Yes.
Okay, all right. So I'm sorry. So explain us civilian job and fired from FEMA for folks who don't understand.
Yes. At home, I have a regular job like everyone else. I have an executive position. I take care of things there. For that job, I'm in contract with them on their terms. And then for FEMA, I work as a reservist. So my time for them is on call based on deployment orders that I receive. So
explain that when you say the deployment, FEMA's not military. So what does that actually mean?
Deployment means that they are asking you to leave your resident of records and to respond to a natural disaster on United Nations land.
Okay, and that, so how long had you been working in this capacity with FEMA?
Since 2019.
Since 2019. So you had worked other disasters around the country.
Correct, and I always exceed the expectation, and I come highly recommended.
Okay, so when they say a FEMA employee, are you technically a FEMA employee or contract?
I am an employee. There's different forms of hire with FEMA. You can be a reservist, you can be a PFT, which is a full-time employee, or you can be part of the Corps where you work 50 weeks out of the year. You can also contract with FEMA as well. So there's various forms of employment with FEMA.
So not only were you fired from FEMA, go to my iPad, your civilian, so your other job with Avanath, you've been fired from that job too.
They actually did that in writing, yes. Okay.
So what did they say you violated? First of all, what kind of company is this? I've never heard of it. What kind of company is it?
It is a property management company. They are nationwide. I am a regional manager. Well, I was a regional manager for that property. I took care of their portfolios for various different acquisitions within it. I'm not sure what core values I have violated there because my actions with FEMA have nothing to do with them at all.
Yeah, so I'm reading this, and this is from a Pat Gaudin, Gaudin. It says, I regret to inform you that your employment with Avanath is being terminated effective November 15, 2024. However, your last day working with Avanath will be effective immediately due to violation of the company's core values and workplace policies. Due to the nature of your absence, I will work directly with you for the return of all Avanath equipment and community access items. Your benefits will terminate on November 30th. Then it goes to final payment, things along those lines. So this is Pat Gard, Executive Vice President, Human Resources. So they never explained to you what you violated?
No, they haven't. And this is all because of FEMA's doing. They allowed a partnering company to leak internal communication and then relinquish all of my personal contact information. So FEMA didn't just jeopardize me. They also put my own company that I work for at home in jeopardy because all this information's on LinkedIn. And FEMA has not gone after these people that has leaked this information, that has breached our policies.
So you talked about hostility. This was a text message that you sent us where one of the folks out there said, "Good morning, LeGros Road is politically hostile. We are not canvassing this street any further. Moved on to North Lakeview Road. Great decision. Thanks for the update."
Exactly. So my senior leadership was aware of the amount of encounters that was going on in the field. Again, this was my second time and a second crew in Florida and experiencing unwelcomed behavior from the residents. Now, not all Floridians have been unpleasant, but for the most part, the ones that are very passionate about their disdain for FEMA, they have no problem expressing it.
So walk us through this. You also sent us this, and it says how it works. Purple paint marks. Property owners can paint vertical lines of purple paint on trees or posts along the perimeter of their property. It said why it's important for safety, clear boundaries, avoiding accidents. The purple paint clearly communicates that entry onto the land is prohibited without permission, reducing the risk of trespassing-related confrontations. So explain to us what this means, what this is.
It means they can shoot you. If they don't have the sign up that says that they will shoot you, purple rocks and painting of trees means.
Tell me, you guys, this. I'm in the hurricane. I may not have electricity, whatever. But I do need, I'm sheltered in place. I'm still at my home. I do need help because, whatever's going on. Somebody knocks on your door. They announce, "Hey, I'm FEMA. I was wondering if you need assistance." Now, despite whether or not I've heard on the radio saying FEMA is avoiding Trump supporters. Are you going to get mad? I'm just thinking logically. I still need help. And Trump is saying, "Oh, they're not helping these FEMA residents, the Trump supporter residents. FEMA's not helping them. They're trying to avoid them." And when they come to my house and knock on my door, I'll be surprised, like, "Oh, I thought they was trying to avoid me. So that must be a rumor spreading." I wouldn't be like, "Get off my damn porch. Where my gun at?" Does this seem logical to you? Do you guys really believe this? Now, maybe she has, or maybe they have encountered people that just don't want to be bothered, because then you're trespassing. But if you say, "Hey, I'm with FEMA," and everybody knows who FEMA is, we are here to help. I'm with FEMA. Do you need assistance? Do you need help? No, I don't need help. Okay, go to the next one. What do you mean you encountered hostility? I'm with FEMA. Knock, knock, knock. I'm with FEMA. You announce yourself. Do you need help? How's that? What are you encountering hostility? This is why I said I think she's being disingenuous. I think FEMA higher up is freaking lying. They put her on the chopping block and threw her to the wolves, but she was following a directive. But it was a false trend too. She keep on using the word trend. Where's the data set? If I was her, "Hey, we visited 9 houses on this block and 50% of the houses was Trump supporters. And we was met with 70% of the Trump supporters, we was met with vitriol. I want to see some numbers, because you can't just say, oh, this was trend and you didn't establish a data set. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like I said, it sounds like a bunch of BS to me.
You are likely to be shocked.
And should she have gotten fired from her other job? Yeah, you should have. Because your politics has no place at the work. You shouldn't be, oh, I'm going to treat, matter of fact, she's a property management. You probably will have some Republicans written from you. You know, maybe they have a MAGA hat. So you're going to discriminate against the people that have a MAGA hat on, or that's wearing a MAGA hat, filling out an application. You're going to deny their application. That's like, oh, I'm discriminating against you because you're black skin. It sounds totally ridiculous.
It means you're unwelcome. Do not come.
So,
and they mean that by force.
I'm finna rewind this. I know I interrupt part of it.
Reducing the risk of trespassing-related confrontations. So explain to us what this means, what this is.
It means they can shoot you. If they don't have the sign up that says that they will shoot you, purple rocks and painting of trees means that you are likely to be shot. It means you're unwelcome. Do not come.
So,
and they mean that by force.
So if the purple paint is there, that's giving you permission to come onto their property?
No, you do not enter. That's why the word avoidance is down there.
Okay. So,
yes.
So again, for people who don't know, so these are FEMA's rules, correct?
Yes.
So if the property owner uses purple paint on their property,
you stay away.
And first of all, how does the property owner even get this information?
So this is something that FEMA has learned over the years from responding to natural disasters under the Stafford Act. So from community trends, you start learning when you take these notation from field intel. If a community has the purple rocks or painted trees, they learned over time that you are met with aggression usually, or they do not want you on their property at all. Instead of just simply placing a privacy sign, no trespassing, they would rather paint purple.
Okay. So again, what I'm trying to understand, so if you turned in reports to your supervisors that state political hostility for the people in the field, those reports exist.
Yes, hence why I also sent you screenshots where they're deleting files now from my computer. So FEMA says they fired me, but I still have access to the systems and their applications. And while I was in an interview yesterday, I noticed that my files were being deleted in my name, and I could not have been doing that while I was talking to Madison. So FEMA is very well aware of the incidents that take place, not just with my crew, but with all of the crews in the state that's declared. And instead of just saying, hey, this is how we're going to mitigate it to protect our people, they decided to fire me and make sure Donald Trump knows that they are loyal to him because they fear retribution.
So, okay, so explain what this chart here is. So you sent us this map and it has these dots on it. So what does this actually mean?
So what that means is that shows you every home in that area. Each dot is a home.
Okay.
And that home, that dot gives you intel of if I was able to register that person, if I was only giving them resources, if I wasn't able to access the property. There's all kind of things in that data for that one dot. So when someone says that, oh, there was at least 20 homes missed, or we didn't do this, or we didn't do that, we have to put that into context, because this was a breach from a partnering company that FEMA hired, the surge capacity team, which are usually just TSA workers. They took it upon themselves to say, we want to go and register these homes, knowing that it is hostile and it could possibly endanger the rest of the team. So because they didn't get what they wanted, they went and sent this information out and misled the people that we just bypassed these homes. We omitted these homes for safety precautions, not because of political play. Like, no one cares about that. We want to make sure people can register.
So when you say for political, so describe for me what political hostility means. Is it
People will tell you, I don't like FEMA. That's part of the Biden-Harrison campaign. You guys are lying to people. You're not helping people. You don't even give people the essential needs funding, the $750. A lot of people think.
So when the people, so again, I just want to try to understand. So when the people who out in the field reporting to you, they were they approaching these homes, knocking on the door, or people out there in the yard saying this? And so when that homeowner makes these statements, then what then does the worker do? Does the worker say, "Sir, ma'am, thank you very much"? And do they then notate political hostility? Do they move to the next house?
Yes, they are to de-escalate and disengage.
Do you guys believe this story? I'm baffled. I'm really baffled about how she is trying to portray Trump supporters. Oh, FEMA is part of the Biden-Harris campaign. I don't like you. After you knocked on my door and asked me if I needed help. Does that make any sense? No, I don't need any help. No, I don't need any help. No, I don't trust you. I just thought, so you're saying, oh, all Trump supporters don't want your help. This is why you came to this conclusion, because you had a few people that said your FEMA is part of the Biden-Harris campaign. Well, I'm knocking on your door, so no, we're just FEMA. We're emergency assistance. I mean, come on now. I just don't believe this story. I'm sorry. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. It really sounds like a bunch of bullshit. And I wish she just say, no, from the top down, they told us to avoid Trump signs. And maybe she's trying to pull. If I was her, I wouldn't even came on this show, because now she sounds like she's just guilty of just being discriminatory against, Trump supporters. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't think it really sounds unbelievable that all these people needed help. You need help. And you're going to say, oh, I don't like Biden. I don't like, you guys are part of the Biden-Harris campaign and you need help. That doesn't make any sense to me. That does not make any sense to me. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. It just don't make any sense. I went through a hurricane, and I'm not saying, I'm just putting that out there like it's this is as an example. I haven't been through a hurricane. Don't misconstrue. I haven't been through a hurricane, but I'm thinking I'm going through a hurricane. My lights is out. My place is flooded or whatever. I can't get to the grocery store or whatever. I don't have a generator. Maybe I have young kids, and FEMA knocks on my door. Hey, do you need help? And I'm going to say no or yes. Yes, I need help. No, I don't need help. I'm not going to say, oh, you part of the Biden-Harris campaign, because I don't really give a shit. Especially if my life was almost threatened from a damn hurricane. Does this make any sense, you guys? This is why I'm getting, like, this does not make any sense.
Engage immediately, walk away from the home, complete the notation of what the encounter was, and move on to the next home.
Does FEMA have that documented, that this is the way it's supposed to be done?
Oh, yes. Ask them for it.
So FEMA has documents that show that, oh, field worker, if you run into anyone who is politically hostile or is hostile to you as a worker, you're saying they are to de-escalate, thank you very much, and keep moving, and then make a notation of that particular home of whatever that specific encounter was.
Right. You put down in the notes, hey, this was an unwelcome encounter. Their firm do not return. Whatever you need to get the message clear, this is not a home we need to go back and canvas. You have to understand, when we go out here in the field, we don't have security detail. We do not have police detail. We are all we have in the field. And FEMA will tell you very quick, if avoidance and de-escalation does not work, please call your local authorities.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is, so first of all, how many homes did the team that you were over, how many homes did they survey?
Oh, I don't have that number. That's why I showed you the map. That map gives you an aerial view of one specific area.
So what you sent us were all the homes that your team processed.
Yes.
So we're talking. So this is one map right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a second map right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a third map right here. This is a fourth map right here.
Okay.
And look, that's the fourth. So all those orange dots, those are all of the homes your teams processed.
Yes, sir.
So out of all of those homes, your teams encountered 20 homes that were defined as politically hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Did the teams under you, did they note specifically the addresses of each one of those homes?
No, they do not. Again, we do not do PII. So when you drop a dot, it just shows logistical coordinates, and then you just put the details there. But it doesn't show the street.
So I'm curious, why not? So for instance, if I'm a worker and I encountered this, I need to be able to say it was 2550 and not 2552.
FEMA does not do that. They do not allow you to disclose personal information.
Okay, so the problem now is, how then are you able to track the homes that were politically hostile?
So again, we do it based off of a report. So for example, there were two gentlemen on my team. They had an uncomfortable encounter. For example, they were told drain the swamp and some other kind of crazy statements. So I know that house was on this street, a specific street, and I know what color it was. And then if I have another team member tell me on that same street that they had another incident, it's like, okay,
Why are you making it political? It doesn't matter. You can't tell people what to say. Your main job is to render aid, okay? If somebody say, drain a swamp, and you're a doctor and they're having a heart attack, are you not going to render aid to them? Oh, he's being political hostile to me. No, you still will render aid because it's in your oath to render aid to the person. Drain a swamp is not political hostility. It's a statement of fact. It's a statement. Some people say, oh, it's not a statement of fact. It's a statement. How's that? This is why I know she's lying. Okay? Maybe she probably has encountered these, but how is this hostile? Do you understand what I'm getting at? She's saying hostile if somebody makes a statement. Now, if they came out with guns and blazing, okay. Yeah, this is a hostile environment. Or they say, get off my effing line. This is a hostile. That's hostility. I don't need your damn help. Okay, you don't need my help. I don't know if that's hostile or not. They just made a statement. They don't need my damn help. But so you took it upon yourself to say, oh, if they have a Trump sign, we just avoid them at all costs. That's stupid. She's saying she's political unbiased, or what does she say? She's unbiased politically. She's lying there. You're lying. Your biases is showing up in this damn interview because you're saying a hostile statement is saying drain the swamp, and that's not a hostile statement. Losing my damn voice.
This is starting to become a trend. We probably need to pull out because nobody needs to work in a hostile work environment.
Okay.
You guys
So
believe it?
again, I'm just trying to understand. So let me pull up here. So if I zoom in on this map right here, and let's say, okay, so I'm looking at one of these streets. So let's say there are 30 homes on that street, and let's say one of your field workers encounters hostility from 3 homes on that street. Do they continue to canvass each home on that street, or do?
That's when I make an executive decision and I send a report over to my TFL.
I'm sorry. What's a TFL?
Task force lead.
Okay.
And I'll let them know that we've had now several, because 3 is several from me, poor encounters on this street that have made the team uncomfortable. And I will let him know we need to move on from here. But the important thing is here, once we start seeing a trend, for example, if they just so happen to have these Trump campaign signs in front of their home, and that's the characteristic that's coming along with that, we have to proceed with precaution. So avoidance first and then de-escalation. And that's the thing. Our superiors know that. We have constant conversations about keep your people safe. If your people are uncomfortable, then just don't go.
So explain this to me, please. Explain this to me. Okay. So I'm just trying to understand what that means. So again, if I'm on a street and it has 20 homes, and there are 8 homes on that street with Trump signs, and my team has faced hostility from 3 of the homes that have signs, what happens next?
I inform my TFL, my direct report, hey, we're again experiencing hostile encounters. We're moving on to another street. We're not canvassing those homes.
So again, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's the directive too. Like, honestly, he has called me multiple times and says, your job is to keep the team safe.
I'm sorry. When you say he, who's he?
Oh, Chad Hershey.
Okay. Who's Chad Hershey?
The TFL my assigned TFL for this deployment.
So Chad Hershey has told you what?
That if your team is uncomfortable and they do not feel safe, do not go to those homes. Go and canvass the other homes. Your job is to keep these people safe. They need to be able to go back home safe.
Okay, so now I have to ask this because again, I use the example, 20 homes on the street. 8 of the homes have Trump signs, and they face hostility from 3 of those homes, which means there are 17 homes left.
Right.
So
we will canvass the ones that do not have the community trend with the Trump campaigns signage and let it go. If any of those residents come outside that have the Trump campaign signage and they say, hey, I want to register, we'll welcome them arms. We will let you register. Great. Wonderful. But we will not subject our people to continuous verbal abuse or hostile encounters.
So
that's not what we do.
That's what I need to know. So, but again, though, this is what I'm trying to understand here. If there are 20 homes on the street, 8 have Trump signs, and you encounter hostility from 3, how do you then, and if you say, I'm moving on from this street, well, what happens to the other 17 homes on that street?
So the ones that do not have the trend, you got to watch what you're saying, because you're saying the ones without the Trump campaign signage. If those are the ones that we have experienced the consistent hostility from, then those are the ones that we're going to avoid. Our equity in DSA is canvassing and registering, so we're going to take care of those other homes on the street. But we're going to avoid the ones that meet the community trend of political hostility, and they just so happen to have campaign signages in their front yard.
So I'm going to go back to something because you said you first started in 2019, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for all of these, it's always these people who run their mouths.
I'm not going to go through the rest of this video because she sounds stupid. Okay, you're just lying right now. You established a fake trend. You established a fake trend, and then you're saying that these people are hostile. After Roland, and this was a good question for Roland Martin. There were 7. If you have 20 homes in the block, 3 of them have Trump signs, or 8 of them have Trump signs. 3 of them, the encounters, which so-called hostile. What happens? You canvass 3 of them. What happens to the other 17? Oh, we'll just move on. Well, you didn't even do your job. Hi, buddy. You didn't do your job. So what are you doing? Because 17 or 3 out of 17, what is that? 15%. So 85% of the people are subjected to not receiving any type of aid. And then she goes to say, oh, if they come outside and say that we need help, we'll help them. Why they got to come outside? It doesn't make any sense. I think it is a systematic thing. I think she is saying that is correct. They just never corrected her. They called her out. They fired her because they got caught in a lie, in some BS. Somebody told on her, and they told on her, and it came out. So now they got to cover it up like, oh, she did this on her own. No, she didn't do it on her own. This is something is established throughout FEMA because the FEMA director is being discriminatory against Trump because they don't like Trump, period. They just conjured up something there. Oh, we're getting hostile people, so we just going to avoid them. That's a bunch of BS. And Farouk, you're absolutely right. Why would anyone say drain the swamp to a rescuer? I need help. I don't give a damn about who you affiliate. You're the federal government. You're supposed to render aid. How would they know your political affiliation if you're rescuing them? Are you wearing a kill conservative label uniform? Oh my goodness. Yuck Photo sounds like the same low IQ BS people are afraid of the police would say. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, come on now. Stop making stuff up. She's after a GoFundMe thing, got all the right criteria for the brain cell. Wump, she just as bad as Tiffany and Roland. Do what he does best. Doesn't fact check. FEMA is filled with offended liberals. Exactly. These people lost everything. They are upset. You have a effing job to do. You can't just move on based off a damn sign. Yeah, this is disgusting. You're saying, oh, we've been encountering hostility. They mad as hell because you probably took 4 weeks to get there. And they haven't received help. What are you talking about? Everybody probably mad as hell. Who's he? But D. This lady sounds like my granddaughter right after I called her in the cookie jar. You caught her in a cookie jar. No, your job is to help people. Is there evidence of this ever happening one time? Trump supporters being hostile towards them. So they got to find you. What the F is with this lady? So any home with hair signs, they'll provide aid, but piss on the homes that Trump signs. Dear God. Yeah, you know what? This, to me, this is very sickening. Anthony said he's losing his voice in the car yelling at her. Yeah, because she sounds stupid. She sounds stupid. And she wanted us to believe this. And Roland Martin trying to paint like, oh, you know, it's not her fault. These Trump supporters are hostile. And she established in that this trend stuff, this really irks me because, you know, don't use that word if you don't have empirical data. You're saying a trend and you just saying, oh, you just going off the top. Oh, today we encountered 3 hostile people out of a block of 20 homes. That's not enough data to say, oh, we just going to avoid the 17 other homes on that block. To me, that's ridiculous. If I was her, I would have my stats correct. You're not gonna pull one on me. If I was her, I would have said, maybe she don't know statistics. I'm not for sure. Maybe she don't know how to compute percentages. But it has to be, you know, you got to make your story believable. To me, this story is not believable because I can't imagine somebody sitting in the dark and needing help, and they're flooded out. And you come to their house asking if they need help. Yeah, of course, I'm going to be like, yeah, what took you so long, number one. But then number two, yeah, I do need help. I need help. Anyway. Roland Martin. Roland has my blood pressure going sky high in general. Lexi says somebody needs to ask them to show proof of the people being hostile. They throw this shit and never back it up. Yeah, they just throw random stuff. And then somebody just making a statement is not hostile. It's not hostility. You know, this is why I'm saying I think it's a bunch of bull crap. What do you mean hostility? People are mad. They're going to be mad as hell if they've been in the dark for 3 to 4 weeks and nobody's came by to help them and they stuck and they can't get nowhere and they don't got no food. Yeah, they're going to be mad because they felt like they just was left there to essentially die. I mean, it's a natural disaster. Come on, people. But going back to the mainstream media, they tried to act like Trump was lying. And come to find out, these claims were true. Okay? They were avoiding people with Trump signs. Anyway, you guys put in the chat, let me know what you think. That was it for today. Tomorrow we're going to get back on our schedule. If you have not tuned in for my unpopular opinion show, that is on Chawanne Burns 2.0 channel. We'll be starting at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. And we're talking about, you know, trending topics, stuff like that. Also, and that show is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. And then tomorrow, regular time at 1:30 for our Business Talk podcast. Okay. So I appreciate every single last one of you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you tomorrow.